beauty of this episode is we no longer have to keep Roman looking strong.
That's true,
as was our worry in the first episode.
Oh, you got to keep Roman looking strong.
I don't know, man. WrestleMania's been and gone.
Yeah.
And,
it's a great show, though.
It was a great show.
I said it to you the last day, man. Don't make him into Hulk Hogan. Make him into Charles Bronson.
Well, that's thematic, obviously.
That's what you need to do.
If he had Charles Bronson's mustache,
yeah,
I would push him. Unfortunately, Michael Winter will come back from the grave and probably try and push his wife under a fucking train.
True.
Go, you'll get the belt now, Roman. She's dead.
I heard
there's some kind of Santa Sangre bullshit with Michael Winter.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I bet some poor woman died in front of him when his most successful film came out, and then he was like, "Oh, that's the key." Sacrifice.
I heard a great joke about Bronson. A lot of hipsters wear the Bronson tash because their balls haven't descended yet. That's why it doesn't meet in the middle. Bronson's tash didn't meet in the middle because it was fucking afraid to.
Poor old dead Charles Bronson.
Yeah. The world is a lot less for not having him.
I grew up in a Charles Bronson house, and I like to think I still live in one.
Yeah.
But obviously, this is the cold open that we're doing here.
Right. Okay. Professional hats on.
Pro wrestling and Canon films, the staple of this podcast.
Pretty much.
We're back, obviously, after a bit of a hiatus.
We need to explain this to people. We've had some technical issues here in Camp Canon,
which was not an opportune moment because we sat down to talk about Bolero a few weeks back.
Yeah,
and the microphones just weren't working, and which is a bad thing because Bolero is not a film that you want to have sitting in your head for a few weeks.
No, not really at all.
It was unfortunate, but we're back on it now thanks to the assistance of Senan, isn't it?
Yeah, my good friend Senan Waldron, myself and himself do another podcast called Policymakers. I will say this. I don't know, I haven't looked up the analytics of who listens to this show or whatever, but if there are any women listening to this show right now, doesn't matter where you're living or if you have a man or not, you need to get on the next flight over to Ireland just so Senan Waldron can feel you up. He is that fucking sound that I think, frankly, he deserves it.
I am not going to agree with that statement. I think just, follow him on Twitter, maybe.
Yeah, follow him on Twitter. If you're feeling lazy, but if you want to go the extra yard, with this one, come over to Ireland, let him just and you're good to go. You can leave at that point.
So as far as you're concerned,
yeah.
Senan giving us a microphone means that all the women of the world should turn themselves into some kind of sexual currency.
Yes. Well, we're
going to have to shut down our Tumblr. Okay.
Well, it's not just that. He's a very good dude, and he's helped me out quite a bit in the past few months. So I'm just trying to do something right by a mate of mine.
All right. Well, this seems like I might go ask the question. How have you been since we last sat down? And
I've been very good. I've been taking a bit of time off from doing stand up, which has been a weight off my mind. It's been a lot of fun. I've just been watching loads of really fucking awesome movies. I've been binge watching Better Call Saul, which is a tremendous show. That's pretty much all I've been doing, really.
Usually I don't go with the introductions because I have an ego and assume everyone knows who I am. But obviously I'm Johnny Capcom and you're Sean Sheridan.
Hello.
And obviously we're talking about Canon movies. And you're talking about watching movies, and I have to confess to our audience that I have been moonlighting. I've been cheating on them. Out of hours here, because maybe people who listen to the first two episodes, people who listen to this current episode would have thought to themselves, I bet they saved themselves, they only watch Canon movies for the show. Nope. Spoiler alert for future episode of the Canon. Devil's Tree's fucking awesome.
Yes.
But I watched that, and last Saturday night a bunch of us getting ready to watch a movie, and everyone was just on Netflix kind of trying to figure something out. And I remember my good friend Richie, who's on the Hit Start Now podcast, which is like a sister show to this, I suppose, because we're both on the giant media ball. But basically, Richie was going through his list, and I was like, hold the fucking phone. Did you just go past Bloodsport?
Yeah.
Bloodsport is fucking dope as fuck. It's
Yeah.
just like one of those awesome 80s kung fu movies, and we'll get to that in time, you know.
And I did similar myself. I watched, out of hours, I watched the Chuck Norris movie, The Hitman.
Okay.
And I'm not going to spoil it now, but there's going to be a massive rant when it comes to that episode, because there is a bit in that movie. It was made in like 1990, 1991. There's a bit in that movie that you just flat out cannot do these days.
But we should talk about, like, Bolero is the movie we're discussing. But I think, you know, there's probably a lot of young people out there, right? Like, people say aged between 16 to 25 or thereabouts, who probably aren't too familiar with erotic cinema.
Yeah.
Because they grew up with internet pornography.
Yeah, which
erotic,
the erotic genre. It's sort of like the Western. It used to be huge, and then it just, all of a sudden it died. Taste changed, technology changed, and it just became old hat.
Yeah, it was weird in the 90s. Like, Shannon Tweed built an empire of erotic films.
Yeah. And I've watched, I'd say, pretty much all of them.
I remember, actually, and this is a personal anecdote. I remember I had to babysit my cousins. And I remember we had Sky Movies in the house, and I all the time used to go through the RT guide, and I'd see like adult listed as the genre film.
After Hours.
And I was like, oh my god, it's sex movies,
Yeah.
And I always wanted to see it. I remember my cousins were staying. I'm like, we can stay up all night, right? And I was like, no, it's 12 o'clock. Fuck off. And I remember like watching some fucking like soft focus fuck flick, as I called it back then, and it was just like, it was awesome. I'd say probably just twice in the first 10 minutes.
Oh yeah,
and that's the thing. We're both men. We both have working genitals.
Yes, yes.
And we were both teenage boys at a certain point in time. So erotic films, or basically anything with a pair of tits in it, was essentially must-see viewing.
I think I was about like 13, 14, something like that. And I was watching one of these movies late night. It was the sort of thing where I went to bed early and I set the alarm on my phone so I could wake up in time after the parents had fucked off to bed.
Yeah.
And one of these movies came on, and I'm not going to mention it, but I fucking remember the name. And it was the first time I ever saw like a girl scene in a thing. And, very Catholic upbringing. This was a revelation to me. I wasn't even aware that this was a thing.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, this is the most amazing thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
Well, I had a similar awakening when I was younger, because I was left at home alone.
Yeah.
And the 1980s classic The Hunger came on.
Oh, such a great movie.
And I don't know if you obviously remember The Hunger, but there's a bit in that, and I can't remember the other actress's name, but Susan Sarandon and this woman,
Catherine Deneuve.
Oh my god!
Oh yes.
Like, I knew like homosexuality was a thing. Like,
see, I didn't. That was the weird thing. But go on.
No, but I did. I knew homosexuality was a thing. But I'd never seen like a sex scene with two people of the same gender.
Yeah.
I didn't know how it would work, and then I just sat there watching this as a 13-year-old boy, going, yeah, I still don't really know how it works, but I know it's fucking rad.
Yeah.
And that was the only...
Apparently there's a bit of vampirism going on in there as well.
Oh, there was some story. I think David Bowie was in it as well.
Was James Spader on that one? I forget now.
He may have been.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is a lost genre of film. Like, you never see these movies anymore. Like, there was The Hunger, 9.5 Weeks... was another one.
Let's see, what else was there? The Postman Always Rings Twice.
Yeah.
Jessica Lange back in the day. Even stuff like Caligula.
Caligula was more of like
a weird, hardcore / periodic epic.
Well, Caligula is a weird case because it was written by Gore Vidal, and like had all these like proper actors like Peter O'Toole and Malcolm
John Gielgud and
yeah. But then the guy who produced it was
Bob Guccione.
And then the guy who directed it was Tinto Brass. Both of those guys are just smoke merchants. And Tinto Brass was the Alfred Hitchcock of the erotic film shows.
Yeah, he made some really good movies, if you ask me. But
him and there was somebody else I can't remember who made like a lot of
Jess Franco.
Jess Franco, yeah.
Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS.
But did he do like Barboy dolls and stuff as well?
Yeah.
And but like these were like again, you go back and look at them and they're kind of cool in their own weird way. It's like
they have a bit of a campy value. Well, the European ones were definite.
Like the Nazi
American ones, not so much.
Yeah, the Nazi ones are a bit weird.
Yeah,
like, you know, but
I never really got that.
Like there was one where I think it was Ilsa She-Wolf,
yeah,
and she was putting pins in this girl,
yeah,
and then like got on top of her and stuck the pins in her. like it was weird. I remember watching it and just being like, I guess I can wank to this if I try hard. But as a young man, you should not have to think that.
No.
You should
if you're at, you know,
it's
you
like,
should not have a confused erection at the age of 13.
There's nothing worse than a guilt wank over Nazism.
Yeah.
Like that, those movies and American History X.
Yeah.
Because like, I remember watching American History X and like always had a thing for Fazura Balk.
Yeah.
Right? Remember watching The Craft when I was younger and just being like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's naked and she's covered in swastikas. And they're going, oh God, I hate myself for this, but I'm doing it.
Yeah.
you know?
She's just screaming out like racial epithets or whatever.
I don't think she was. I think that's in your head, but she would have.
Yeah. And no, there was definitely bits in that where she was just like screaming stuff, you know.
Oh no, not in the sex scene.
Oh right.
Oh yeah, when she was out in the street, like well, I mean, that was her job, I think.
Oh yeah.
But no, the thing is, the world we live in now is kind of a strange one when it comes to depictions of sexuality in films and whatever else. But I don't know. I think I've always been a fan of like erotic art and like depictions of sexuality. I think sex is a really interesting part of the human experience, you know, and I think it's been exploited for good and bad.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? And I mean in art, obviously.
Yes.
But
in reality it most definitely has.
You know, and I mean, look, we're honest men here, alright? We both probably watch 40 hours of pornography a week.
Oh, yeah, you know most likely.
And that's the thing, it's the weirdest thing where people, and obviously we're getting into it right now, but like people are kind of still embarrassed in a weird way about enjoying sex and depictions of sex. And there's this whole censor culture now where it's like, oh, you can't show a dick on screen or whatever. Like, whatever, man. We've been doing it for decades.
Which is bizarre. Like, I remember talking to a friend of mine before about this, and she told me that, you know, it makes no sense to her that you can't see an erect penis on the screen when if you take a late night bus out to Oranmore, you can probably see one.
See a few.
Yeah, you probably see a few, and they won't be nearly as fucking nice looking.
Yeah, that is the weird thing. There are weird like restrictions on what you can and can't show. Like you can show like a vagina covered in pubic hair.
Yeah.
But if it's shaved and there's even a hint of pink, somebody closed the government down in case it catches fire. Like
there was a bit of controversy with one of Danny Boyle's films about that, wasn't there?
Which one was that?
Trance.
Oh, Trance?
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember.
Yeah, they were trying to get that cut, and Danny Boyle fought them the whole way.
I didn't realize. I know that movie has a lot of like vaginal stuff in it because there's a weird kind of subplot about pubic hair.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm going to put that out right now, right? Vaginal art is a very underrated.
I'm not familiar with.
I don't know. Like the thing is, like that's one of the like. It's Easter weekend. We're recording this, and the reason I bring up vaginal art is one of my favorite artists, and I can't remember her name now. I'm really sorry, I can't remember her name. But if you just look up like the vaginal Mary paintings this woman did, just Google vagina Holy Mary paintings.
Okay.
And why wouldn't you want to Google those words? Right? Where it's just like
who wouldn't want that in their search history?
You know the halo effect. Yeah. But it's instead of that, it's like it's just the Virgin Mary, but there's like this kind of weird, kind of holy vagina around her. And I don't know, it's weird. It's like Maud Lebowski says in The Big Lebowski. She's like, most men are scared of vaginal art.
Yeah, and
you shouldn't be, man, because it's fucking rad.
Yeah,
you know?
Okay, I'll give that a look.
And I'm an equal opportunity a praiser, I guess. I mean, I told you before, like when it comes to art. There's weird things I like. Like, I mean, and I'm not throwing how do I put this? I'm not avoiding this in a weird way, but I'm a heterosexual man who happens to enjoy a bit of gay art sometimes.
Okay.
You know, I always say, like, Tom of Finland is one of my favourite artists.
Yeah, you've raved about this guy before.
Because his art is, well, it's hilarious and it's kind of interesting. Because it's these, like, depictions of big muscle dudes in the forests and stuff, like, you know. But it's weird because you're watching, you're looking at a masculine depiction, but like a masculine kind of fantasy of what masculinity is.
Oh, right.
Because I've seen, you know the difference when, if you walked into a gallery and there's two paintings of the one guy, one was by a guy and one was by a woman, you know which ones are the difference.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, there is a visceral fucking reaction you have to erotic art and erotic stuff in general that I think not a lot of people appreciate. And especially we live in this fucking world when you can go and watch people fucking stab each other in the fucking asshole with a rusted saw or something. You know, we've kind of lost that.
Yeah.
And these...
Well, I don't know.
No, like there's... How do I put it? We've lost our limits.
Yeah.
We used to now the limits are all over the place. But now when you go back, like when we're going to talk about Bolero, we're talking about a time when if you saw like a single strand of pubic hair on your cinema screen, well, fucking hell, Mary closed the barn door, like, you know.
And no, well, we are leaving out the elephant in the room here when we talk about erotic cinema. It has made a bit of a comeback recently with 50 Shades.
Oh yeah. Well,
I mean, I haven't seen it yet because it doesn't look like it'd be my bag. I've read the book and it's atrocious. So
that's a weird one. But the thing is, and I think I remember discussing this with you before. It's weird that like women are going crazy for 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
You know, whereas back in the day, men would have queued up to watch Bolero.
Yeah.
So maybe in 20 years' time, women will finally come around to internet pornography. And by that time, as I said,
either that or erotic cinema will just make a comeback for both genders.
Who knows? But
either way, I'm in.
But like maybe, like as I said, maybe women will get into internet pornography in 20 years' time, and in 20 years' time, we'll be just watching people box chickens to death with hammers, like, just to get some kind of, razor boxing was the you know.
Did I tell you that story? I found this story online. I don't know how true this is. This could just be complete and utter internet bullshit. However, I did hear the story of a Dundee in Scotland. They were it was the opening night of 50 Shades. This woman came in mouldy drunk, and they threw her out because apparently she was interfering with herself publicly. And
that's
when it all crescendoed, she just evacuated from everywhere. Like
she shit herself.
Yeah, she shit herself. She vomited.
Just squirted all over her.
And just squirted all over the place. Now, I have never had that intense an orgasm, and when I read that, I thought, that's going on the bucket list.
I'm jealous.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I've lost the use of my legs and stuff in the past, but I've never just shit and puked.
Yeah.
Fucking, like, just like, oh, God.
Now, maybe you need, like, a certain amount of whiskey inside you for this one to work.
That sounds like something you'd only see in an anime.
Maybe it's one of those things, like, where she was drunk enough that any sort of motion would have made her
man.
vomit.
I've been a double-fisted whiskey drinker in the past, and I've gotten it on afterwards. And let me tell you, the only thing I've ever done is pass out halfway through. This woman's got it all fucking silsed.
And I've heard numerous stories about like people. Cinema workers finding like soiled cucumbers at 50 Shades shows and things like that.
Well, this is a throwback to when dudes used to go to the theater, like a taxi driver,
just
with the big coat and
just jack off,
jizz into it.
I mean, it's maybe that's.
Oh man,
maybe it's feminism just claiming this. Femininity claiming this male thing.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Why didn't we go see that movie?
Because I'd read the book and I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but we could have just sat down at the front under the screen and watched the audience.
That would have ruined it.
Oh, man.
They would have known we were watching them, and it would have made them self-conscious. If we just went in with like some mirrors.
I don't
mean
to be casting aspersions, but all women want to get caught. but at least in my experience.
Okay.
But, it's always let's do it in the field, and maybe someone will find us.
That's true.
Sorry, I'm letting you know a little bit too much about my.
I think you're onto something there, but
anyway, we should talk about Bolero.
Yeah,
obviously this is like a John Derek joint.
Yeah.
But
John Derek, what a man.
Yeah, Bo Derek was, of course, she's our star.
Yeah.
I knew who Bo Derek was, but I never really seen any of her movies.
I knew her from watching 10 as a very young, impressionable child. This was before
That was when she had the
cornrows,
the Booker T hair.
Yeah. And this was before, I was about like 11 or 12, I think I was about 12 at the time. This was before I had discovered erotic cinema. So just her running down the beach in slow motion, Baywatch style. That was enough.
Dudley Moore was in that, wasn't he?
Dudley Moore, yeah. And it wasn't Dudley Moore's best by any stretch of the imagination, but it was and that alone.
I used to get Bo Derek confused a lot with Farrah Fawcett.
Well, it's easy enough to confuse the two.
Farrah Fawcett had that awesome poster where it was just nipples.
Yeah.
It was like, she had like a red bathing suit on.
Yeah.
And like it looked like just nipple mania.
Yeah, and David Hasselhoff, he took that poster and he took the slow motion running from 10
and made
Baywatch, and now he's a billionaire.
Yeah, he's looking for freedom as well.
Exactly.
Bolero was Bo and her husband John Derek getting together to make a movie, and I think they've been trying to make movies for a while.
Yeah,
and they went to Canon because Canon offered a kind of freedom to directors and stuff.
Yeah,
and this is the movie that John Derek was like, I need 100% artistic freedom, and like all of this movie, I'm just saying before we get into it, is John Derek's fault.
Well, I will say that according to movie legend, they were getting numerous telegrams and things from Menachem, saying, make it more erotic, and John just replying back, I can't think of anything else that would make it more erotic, and because Menachem, he gave him the freedom. He gave him a certain amount of freedom, but he knew the kind of movie he wanted out of this.
David Hasselhoff identified
exactly,
but that's the thing. Like with it's weird. Like they gave him kind of carte blanche, but also asked for him to up the ante and all that. But the weird thing is, like, this movie ended the relationship that Canon Films had with MGM.
Yeah.
And sadly, the last film that Canon put out with MGM was Breakin', which we discussed last episode.
Yeah.
And basically, this MGM looked at the script for Bolero and went, "Nah, bro."
Nah.
And we will get into the movie in a minute, and we'll be able to identify with MGM.
Yes, I think so.
At the end of this podcast, we're going to want to distance ourselves from Bolero.
Yeah.
What were your expectations of this movie?
My expectations of this movie, I was hoping for something. I was hoping for something along the lines of, say, Stealing Beauty, something like that. Something where it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Where it's shot really well. The story isn't like super important.
Yeah.
But enough of a story to keep it going, and a nice bit of boobs. That's what I was looking for out of this movie.
Okay, I was kind of hoping for like a retro thrill, shall we say?
Okay.
I wasn't necessarily in it for. Obviously, I wasn't in it for the sexual content.
Yeah.
But I kind of hope to look at it almost like I love watching like music videos from the 70s where the fashion is aged really badly.
Yeah.
This kind of antiquated youth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was kind of hoping for an eye into that kind of world where you could, like, nobody's going to ever watch Bolero.
God, no.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you bother? If you're a young man or a young woman who's wanting to watch something filthy, right? You're just gonna go to Pornhub or RedTube or any of the fine flash pornography sites.
Yeah, you're not going to look up like a 1984 tit movie when you can look at like Ukrainian midget threesomes.
Exactly.
And
so this is kind of it's lost to time. And I feel kind of like those, like an archaeologist in one of those movies where I'm just like, it should have stayed in the past.
It's like the Ark of the Covenant.
It is. Well, I think that's probably. I think we've been putting it off long enough.
Yeah, let's get into this.
Yeah, I think it's time for us to talk about Bolero.
Once in a while, a film dares to be different, dares to be daring, dares to be Bolero. Bo Derek is the adventurous young woman who leaves her world behind and sets out to lose her innocence.
Beautiful word, ecstasy.
A discovery in the meaning of desire.
It has to be warm and sultry and dark-eyed when you give your virginity away. I want it. Will you show me everything? Hey!
But she learns there are many sides to love.
You witch!
Now I kill you, I have to kill you. Shut up.
Don't do this to me.
The film that's created all the controversy. Bo Derek, Bolero. So daring, we can only show you where the ecstasy begins.
Okay, here we're going to talk about Bolero.
Let's do this thing.
In depth.
Yeah. Okay.
I gotta start. Okay, I watched this movie on Netflix.
Same here.
As you did. And we have to underline that because we watched it on Netflix, a legal streaming service that everybody has.
A mainstream.
Yep.
Completely
above board.
Yeah.
So we'll enlighten you on this. But Netflix predicted that I'd have a 1-star rating on this movie.
Me too. Me too, amazingly enough.
When I put it on. And I was there going, come on now. Yeah. It'll be better than 1 star. And anyway, a few minutes in, I don't know why, I just wrote the words "dread in the fugitive mind" on the thing, and I think I was being precognizant of what I was going to go through. But we started out with a silent film, and which is it's a bit rapey. The silent film is.
Yeah, it was clearly meant to be a pastiche of like the Rudolph Valentino silent films of the era. You know, where he's like the big strong Arab man and he takes a wife and she resists him at first, but god damn it, he's so damn handsome. Yeah, you know. Well,
we see this old style movie. And then we cut to the outside to the lobby, and there's these two greasers or something hanging out in the stairway. And
two Clearasil adverts.
Yeah. You could see fucking the moon reflected in their faces, but and it was daytime. But it was like they're standing there and they're basically going, "Oh, I got blue balls" or whatever. And then they go like, then Bo Derek walks by, our star. And they both go, "She's a bit of a ride."
Yeah.
You know, but
and Chase after is like, "Any chance I can get the ride off you?" We're translating this into Dublin. But
and it was just like I was watching it, and there was like Bo Derek and her buddy who's from Spain.
Yeah.
They're going, "Oh, we're gonna go to Europe and we're gonna have all the sex and it'll be really fun." And I was just there going, "This is starting like Taken."
Yeah.
Like there's greasy dudes eyeing up this fucking naive young woman, like, you know.
And the thing, and when they were talking about it, they were talking about sexual ecstasy.
Yeah.
And they make a point of spelling it, but they spell it wrong.
Yeah.
And I immediately think, okay, you're idiots.
I thought that was almost them, like, it's like when people search for porn and they search prawn. I was like, are they looking to get some MDMA and they just don't they're trying not to alert the foes?
It's possible. It's possible.
Anyway, we see our two ladies. They're talking about they want to lose their virginity.
Yeah.
And but then they have to graduate from university first.
Yeah.
Where I'm pretty sure they were studying bad acting.
Yeah.
And
you'd think from years of watching erotic cinema that bad acting alone would give me a horn. But this was like, atrocious.
This was Tommy Wiseau would look at this and go, "Ooh, that's a bit Wooden Girls."
Yeah, come on. We'll put it together in editing. It's grand.
And they did not.
Oh.
But they study bad acting, basically. And then they go, oh, we're going to go for a trip around the world.
Wait, there's a bit here I want to talk about before that. When Bo she gets her degree.
I was
sorry,
getting to that,
sorry.
Right?
Yeah.
She goes, we're going to go, we're going to graduate, we're going to go around the world, and do you want to take it or like? Because
I'll take this one. Bo she gets her degree.
Her degree in shite.
Her degree in shite acting, and for reasons I've yet to understand, George Kennedy is in this movie.
Yeah.
Academy Award winner George Kennedy
What
is
did he
in
win
this.
the Oscar for?
Cool Hand Luke.
Oh Jesus!
And as well as that, Elmer Bernstein, the Academy Award winning composer, did the score for this.
Well, it's a good score.
Yeah, it's a very good score. But she's there getting the applause. He's outside looking in, going, "Fair play to you, doll."
Yeah.
And after that, we get a scene where Bo just like strips down in the quadrangle of her university.
Yeah.
And this is where I start having serious misgivings about this film.
Yeah, she does the dude love hand over knee dance in the nip.
But not only that, I mean, there's a very specific erotic movie, the Erotic Awakening movie, right? Where you take like a young, innocent girl and you sort of introduce her to the pleasures of the flesh, right? And this is meant to be a slow progression.
Yeah.
If she's doing the bend over and show us your growler shot 2.5 minutes into the fucking movie, you've already lost me here.
Yeah, she's straight in.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't mind, as I was watching it though, I was empathizing with like a teenager me watching this and going, holy shit, it's only 2 minutes in and we've already got nudity.
Yeah.
Fucking right on.
Exactly.
Little did I know it'd be another fucking 6 years before there's more nudity. But at this point, I'd never really seen I'd never seen a whole lot of Bud Eric before. As I said, I confused her with Farrah Fawcett, and I had a good look at her during this scene. Yeah, and there's a lot of close-ups on her face. Yeah, and I was trying to figure out who she reminded me of, and then I realized it's Frank Mir. Because she's got like these massive cheekbones, and she just looks like. Remember when Brock Lesnar battered the fucking face off Frank Mir, and Brock was on top of him, and he's punching the face off, and Frank came up, and he just had these massive inflamed cheeks. That's what Bo Derek looks like naturally.
I don't know if you've ruined this movie for me or if you've greatly improved UFC 100. I'm not entirely sure.
It was just. All I could hear was like. I was like, is Dana White going to come in and fucking give her a conciliatory hug? You know what I mean? At any moment,
cover your shame up there, Frank. It's all right.
Yeah, she got and she. Anyway, they run in. What?
Yeah, they have this. Herself and Cotton,
George Kennedy.
George Kennedy's character. They have this weird interaction where he comes over and throws a coat over, and it's like, have I embarrassed you? No. Yes, you have.
You embarrassed yourself.
Do you forgive me? No. Then I'm going to have to fire you. I kind of need this job. Then you'll have to forgive me.
Yeah.
All right, I forgive you.
Yeah.
And that's like the first dialogue scene in this
He's
movie.
a house slave.
Yeah, between these two. And I immediately hate her and feel really sorry for him.
Yeah, he's indentured.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, he's just like, I don't know, maybe he's got, like, fucking...
Yeah. Like they're trying to make it out like she's an orphan or whatever, and he's like a father figure to her, but she treats him like absolute shit.
Oh, yeah.
The entire fucking movie.
He's a doormat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically, their Russian Scottish attorney turns up then and goes, "Oh, hey, missy."
Yeah.
Oh,
that was the worst Scottish accent I've ever heard in my life.
And he's there going, "Oh, here you go." He might as well have just done Roddy Piper's accent.
Yeah.
But,
well, you see the thing there, Bo. You need to take off your top, and I'll give you your money.
Just put the glasses on, man. But yeah, she gives her the money because she's come of age.
Yeah.
Which is something we'll get to.
Yeah.
And anyway, she's there going, right, I've got all this money. What will I do with it? I know what I'll do. I'll go to Arabia to get someone to ride me.
Yeah, I'll go to generic Arab country number 73.
Yeah. Saudi Iraq.
Yeah.
Fucking... They go to Arabia, where she promptly dons Scott Steiner headgear.
Yeah.
And decides that's going to,
Who knew that Scott Steiner was a Bo Derek fan? Actually, that makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
But
Well, she basically some local pimp finds a sheik for her.
yeah,
And she wants to give up the old cherry to him.
the pimp guy was played by veteran character actor Mickey Knox.
Okay.
Just a random bit of trivia I found out. Mickey Knox was also the name of Woody Harrelson's character in Natural Born Killers, and Tarantino lifted the name directly from this guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, 2 shit films mentioned there.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, that's a stiff shot.
Yeah. Not a fan of Natural
We'll have
Killers.
that argument later on, I'm sure.
But yeah, she decides she wants to give it up to the sheik. He's the whitest sheik in the world.
Yeah.
And basically, she's there going, "Hey, sheiky baby, you know, hey, baba, you know, fucking, how about it?"
There were two thoughts in my mind here. First off, it would have been so much better if they'd cast the Iron Sheik.
Yeah,
You know, that would have been tremendous.
Suplex her,
Yeah.
put her in the camel clutch, then fuck her ass.
I would have. I'd watch that film every day. I really would.
Make her humble, old country way.
You know. So the second thought I was having was that scene immediately turned me into like an uber fucking feminist, because she's just going over to this big rich powerful dude. It's like, here, lob it into me, Stan.
Yeah,
Lob it in. I've never spoken to you before in my life apart from this offer of the lob, but
like it's weird. All right, basically this is the first example though of Bo.
Yeah.
Basically sexualizing people's ethnicity.
Yeah.
Where she's just going, "You're a sheik, you should fuck me like a sheik."
Yeah.
And she has all these expectations of him that he fails to live up to.
Yeah.
Because he's just a dude. Like
Yeah.
she's getting him to ride a horse down a hill and all this bull.
and he can't do it.
Yeah.
And it turns out that he's like a London educated guy, you know,
Yeah,
and he's never lived in the place he's the sheik of.
She's just trying to she's trying to manufacture the ultimate fuck, and it's just not happening.
Yeah, and this is about as close as the film comes to intentional humor.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like she wants the Valentino, and this guy, he's like a pale, weedy poet type, and he's just not that guy. And it cuts to like herself and her mate and her Spanish mate having a laugh about this later. It's like, he was English? Oh my god!
Yeah.
You know, and I was thinking, that's a joke to you people? What? No, there's no even. That's not even a setup. Well, what?
I don't know.
I really don't have a clue.
know.
Like that's as close as they come to a joke in the film, as far as I can tell. Maybe they had some other huge, hilarious jokes that they tried to put in there that I just didn't fucking notice.
Yeah. Anyway, I was kind of empathizing with the teenage boys who'd be watching this movie at this point, because like you get your tease of nudity earlier on, but it's only 20 minutes in and there's no riding.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'd say you'd be stroking it half to death, like, you know, keeping the semi going.
There was a weird bit in it as well where the sheik he like covered her in honey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
We get to there's after a bit of preamble.
Yeah.
Where he basically smokes heroin.
Yeah.
And they get down to having sex thereabouts, right? And Bo gets nude, and there's like I remember watching it, and I was like, yeah, this would probably receive like 12-year-old me's approval because there's a bit of Bush in it.
Yeah.
Bush was like currency back then.
Yeah. If I was 12 or 13 watching this, I'd be ripping it off myself.
I don't know if I would though, because he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna put honey all over you."
Yeah.
And he proceeds to pour honey all over her and liquor and stuff. But it didn't look like honey. To me, from where I was sitting, right, I'm watching this in high definition, alright? It looked like the fucking ketchup runoff from a tin of baked beans.
To me, it looked like, you know in The Fly, where Jeff Goldblum is going through the transformation and he's covered and all that stuff?
Yeah.
You know, That's what it looked like to me. I have a funny feeling that Guillermo del Toro had a raging horn watching this movie.
It was fucking rank looking.
It was disgusting.
It looked like jizz and like just like
mixed with marmalade or something.
It was slop. It was all, I was there going, this, no thank you.
No,
right?
no.
And I was going to ask if you were into it, but clearly not.
I was thinking, up until that shit came into it, I was like, fine. But you mentioned as well the smoking opium thing, right? Now you take this out of like the 1920s movie pastiche thing that it's in, and you like say if you were to make a Larry Clark movie, where like a young girl is giving it up to an older guy, and before that he just smokes a whole bunch of opium. That is not a sexy scene. No. That is a deeply fucking disturbing scene.
Yeah.
You know.
That's Taxi Driver.
We're in Paul Schrader territory when that happens.
Well, she doesn't have to worry about it anyway, because your man's a one-pump chump. He
passes out before he even
He passes out from all the junk in his system.
Yes.
And he you know, so she relates this to her buddy.
Yeah.
And she's there going like, he couldn't get the horn, so I couldn't ride him.
Yeah.
I didn't get what I wanted. So she's there going like, so let's go to Spain, because at this point in the film, Bo Derek reveals that she just has a thing about sexually objectifying brown people.
Yeah.
And that's all. She just wants some brown lad to lob it in, and she don't care what flavour it is.
Well, what was also interesting to me was her Spanish mate. I can't even remember the character's name, and frankly, I don't care. But
I could remember it, and then I made myself forget.
Yeah, I blocked it out. But she was saying, but I wanted to lose my virginity too, and I can't do that in Spain because I'm from Spain.
Yeah.
So, okay, is this a thing with girls?
You can't lose it in your hometown?
Or you can't lose it to someone who's from the same country as you? Because if so, I'm flying over to America right now. There's got to be, like 15 million...
Oh, yeah.
You know...
DTF.
DTF. You know, just form an orderly queue. I'll arrive...
that shit, man. Just go to Wales.
Yeah. I'll arrive into either Cardiff or O'Hare tomorrow. Yeah. Just form an orderly queue, alright?
Well, the thing is, they get to Spain, they're watching a bullfight, and I gotta point out, Bo Derek's character is naive, mystified by everything. Like, she's marking out watching this bull run around the place, and she's dumb as a box of rocks.
Yeah,
right?
And here's my one and only problem with Cotton. Yeah. He's an older man. He knows better.
Yeah, and he goes along with all this.
Yeah, like there was a bit where she was walking up to the sheik earlier on, where she was saying to Cotton and her mate, "Do you want to come over?" And he was just like, "No, you're good. You're good. You can go fuck up your life. I'll just be sitting here smoking some opium."
You think maybe, right, that he is trying to work himself into an Alfred situation like in Batman Begins, where he thinks, if she dies, I'm her only benefactor.
I can only hope so.
I wouldn't blame him.
Frankly, I wouldn't. In fact, it would make me like him more.
They go and watch this bullfight, where like we meet our love interest, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I was worried immediately that this film would feature the actual death of a bull.
Yeah.
Because like these outlaw films back in the day, a lot of them, like Milo and Otis is a movie that a lot of people love when they're unaware of what it is. It's like this film about a cat and a little kitten and a puppy, and they get lost.
Yes.
But here's the thing: it was filmed in Japan, right? And like Dudley Moore did the voiceover for it.
Yeah.
But they killed like 50 puppies and kittens apiece making the movie.
Jesus.
Yeah, because they just got a little yellow Labrador and a little like black kitten, so they could switch a bunch of them in and out. And like there's literal scenes where there's these cats being chucked off the side of a cliff and everything.
Fucking hell.
Oh yeah, and people like were going, "Oh, it's a cute movie," because at the end of it they find their way home. No, they died.
That's fucked up. I've seen that movie. I thought that was an okay kids movie.
No. In Japan, like there's a completely different cut of it in Japan, where it's not supposed to be a fun movie. It's about the harshness of nature.
Jesus Christ!
I was really worried that I was going to watch a bull get killed in this, but thankfully no. And and anytime, like, the thing about bullfights is usually it ends with the bullfighter killing the bull and putting spears in it before they do hand. But there's spears going in, but there's just like a shield on the bull's back that they're sticking spears into, so the bull itself isn't getting harmed.
Yeah, but it just looks like the matador is like toying with it the whole time.
Yeah, it was weird. But like Tito, as I call him, El Matador, was in the thing.
Angel, or
and basically, fucking Bo Derek's in her Bav Morda from Willow cosplay, and she's fucking giving him fucking dog eyes. And basically, they go for dinner, but at this point we were introduced to Olivia d'Abo's character as well.
Yeah,
and she'll create problems later on. But,
immense ones.
But Olivia d'Abo's character is a gypsy, and then we find out that this guy he runs a train on gypsies or something.
Yeah, see, they go to meet this guy, and apparently it's like at a gypsy encampment or something like that, and they have like a hot tub dug into the ground where our hero is hanging out with a bit of gypsy stuff, like. And
good looking woman.
Yeah, and according to Paloma, Olivia d'Abo's character, she
he's been with her since she was 14.
Since she was 14, but apparently this is tradition that every young girl in this encampment, when they turn 14, he gets a crack at them.
Yeah, they join the gang.
Yeah, now this is where I have serious issues with this. Now let's review. This is written and directed by John Derek.
Well, if we can get our editor man to hit the music, we need some fitting music for this. John Derek, he's a man of international crime.
Yeah, he was a fairly well-known actor for quite a while. He had a part in Spartacus, he had a part in Ten Commandments, things like that. He met his wife at the time, Bo Derek, when he was 47 and she was 16. And upon meeting her, he left the wife he was with at the time, and then moved to Germany for 4 years to escape the child protection laws in America. Now, he's the guy who wrote this.
Yep. And
I just want you to keep that in mind, because this is Bo Derek travelling across the world to literally throw her arse in the direction of a man who routinely goes through 14-year-old girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, you're kind of seeing the problem that I and John have with this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gets worse.
It gets worse.
Because after this, they bring Olivia d'Abo's character back to the fucking palatial estate where they're staying.
Yeah.
And she has a full frontal nude scene.
Yeah.
Now, when I watched this movie, I remember I was there going like, okay, she just looks young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They cast an actress who's maybe 19, 20, 18 maybe, and she just still has that baby face.
Yeah, she's got the Alison Lohman thing going on.
Yeah. You know, she's still got to have a baby face. And then I googled Olivia d'Abo, and no, she was 14 when this movie came out.
Yeah.
So she was probably 13 when they filmed it.
Yeah.
And they have her on screen fully nude.
Yeah.
Talking about how hot she is.
Yeah, and how she is a real woman.
Yeah. And so basically what they've done here, and this is why this film is, it's not only a bad movie, but it's fucking reprehensible, right? Because they've presented a nude child for the sexual gratification of its audience.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to underline point out we watched this movie on Netflix.
On Netflix.
Okay, not on the dark web.
Yeah.
Okay?
On the most mainstream video streaming site outside of YouTube.
Yeah.
You can watch this movie.
It's fucking crazy.
They had to shoot the Spanish scenes in France.
Yeah.
Because the child protection laws are different there.
Oh, you serious?
Yeah. And I was just thinking, okay, Olivia d'Abo is not a bad actress. She was the princess in Conan the Destroyer. She went on to be like Kevin's sister in the Wonder Years after this. And I loved the Wonder Years. I thought she was really good in that.
I love Conan the Destroyer.
Yeah, I love Conan the Destroyer too. She's not a bad actress at all, but she didn't have to be in this movie.
It's
crazy. You could have got like an 18, 19-year-old girl who just looks young.
Yeah.
To be in this movie. and I would not have a fucking problem with
They've
that.
been
I mean,
doing
it would be fucked up because it's still a 13-year-old character.
Here's the irony, though. Pornography itself was censored heavily back then.
Yeah.
Okay. But they used to have actual of-age women nude in their movies.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, I'm there going, right, it got passed. It's still passed by the censor board. It's still passed by all these different things, right?
Yeah.
This is the same censor board who decided that Evil Dead needed to be banned because that would be harmful to its audience.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that a fun movie with slapstick violence is more harmful than a movie that would literally invites grown men and women, okay,
Yeah.
to sit there and sexually objectify a child.
Yeah. And not only that, watching this movie with that knowledge in mind, you can absolutely see why MGM dropped Canon like a bad habit.
Yeah, I don't actually lay the blame for this on Menachem and Yoram.
Yeah.
Like, I think they just went, go make your fucking movie. Like you're saying, they're sending telegrams.
Yeah.
They weren't on set.
Oh, of course
You know
not.
what I mean?
They were shooting in France, and Menachem was back in Los Angeles.
Yeah. But so I don't blame him for that. This is John Derek. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Right?
Fuck you, John Derek.
And like we're gonna have to get back and discuss the rest of the movie, but we just gotta fucking.
Yeah, I need to cleanse my fucking soul. I've been like I said, we had some technical issues, so this has been brewing in my head for quite a few weeks at this point.
Yeah.
Fuck you, John Derek. Fuck you.
Well, anyway, they go. She gets. We'll skip forward a little bit here, right? She gets Hugh Jackman guy. What's his name?
Angel.
Angel. Right. She badgers him into giving her the ride, and he agrees to it. But there's this moment where he goes, "Okay, you come to my house, and I tell you what, tomorrow morning I will come for you." But like, he doesn't want to ride her that night.
Yeah.
He says, "And when the sun rises, I'll come for you, and we'll get it the fuck on."
Yeah.
Right? And at that moment, I went, "Holy shit, he's a reverse vampire." And there's moments later that lead me to believe that I'm right.
Okay.
But anyway, he's going to fuck her at sunrise. But the bit that, like, again, Bo Derek's dumb as a box of rocks in this movie.
Yeah.
Because he turns up and he makes her close her eyes, and then he takes his robe off, and she goes, "Oh my God, you're naked." And all I think was, "Yes, sweetheart, if this is going to work."
Yeah, that's
fucking.
Yeah, I'm constantly amazed by how fucking stupid Bo Derek's character is in this movie.
Yeah.
Because, now granted, she's young, she's naive and everything, but I've met young and naive girls. They're not that fucking dumb.
It's weird. She's going on the thing, like, you know, it's weird. It's like a Lars von Trier movie. It's stilted and weird and amateurish.
Because you need that in an erotic movie, a Lars von Trier comparison.
You know, and there's excessive man arse on display. But there's a moment where Bo goes, "Do everything to me." And all I think was, she's fucking lucky you didn't start off by shitting on her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I haven't. Okay.
He's like, "All right, well, you know me, I'm like Stan Hansen. I like to start out strong."
Yeah, maybe this is just the women I've been with. I can't claim to speak for all women when I say this, but no fucking woman first time out says do whatever you want.
Or he goes, "All right," and just wheels in a glass table and goes, "I'll be underneath." You know.
Oh dear Lord!
Boogie Jimmy Valiant, that's for you.
Does that one need a bit of explanation?
No. Just
leave
again,
that one hanging.
Google Boogie Woogie Jimmy Valiant Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
Right? And that one will be
absolutely.
It's the safest way for that shit to be explained to you. Shit underlined. What was it? They have a fuck. They fuck basically.
Yeah.
And I wrote here, the description that I wrote was, he murders her vagina.
Yeah, the Irish comedian Tommy Tiernan, he has an expression for what Angel did to Bo in this scene.
Yeah.
It's called clatter fucking.
Okay.
You know, it's basically fucking someone like they're in your way.
Yeah.
And that's what he did to her in this scene, because it was full on fucking plowing. And the whole time I'm thinking, that's fucking brand new.
Yes.
There's still a hymen in there. Fucking go easy, Scan.
Well, that's the thing that
you know, you're at a 10, you need to be at a 2.
when he bursts her hymen open,
Yeah.
there's like a big sound effect, like a psycho sound effect.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. It's like wee, and she like the look
Once
on-
again, John Derek, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's oh my god, yeah, it's one of the weirdest. Like the thing is, this is the payoff. Okay,
Yeah.
like it's been building up for nearly an hour at this point, and it was so bad
Yeah.
that I laughed hysterically
Yeah.
the whole way through it. And I'll be honest with you, the last time I laughed like that
Yeah.
was when I went insane from an infected tooth. Okay,
Wow.
and I remember I called into my girlfriend's room and I just went, like, I woke her up and I was like, hey. I'm going fucking nuts, and I can't be nuts on my own. Right? And I remember she was just trying to comfort me and go, "We'll get you to the hospital. Don't worry about it." And I fell onto the floor, and I was screaming, and I was in such pain that I guess my brain just went, "Laugh, you'll feel better." And that's what happened to me at this point in time.
Yeah.
I half expected my ex to burst in and just go,
Yeah.
"It's okay, John. I'll bring you to the hospital." You know, and I'd be like, "Jesus Christ, what are you doing here? I'm watching this shameful film. Get out!" But
My reaction to it was just sort of, you know, it was shock at the fucking, like, the vigor that your man put into this.
he was like a Chinese dragon.
Yeah,
The
pretty
way he was
much.
going at it.
You know, and, you know, and as well as that, I was thinking, this is like, this is every Shannon Tweed sex scene ever.
Yeah.
I could just as easily be watching that and not have all of the weird connotations that this movie has.
Bo
You know what I mean?
Derek's selling, though,
Yeah.
of the sex, right, was amazing. She just had this look on her face. Like,
Yeah.
I guess she was going for, I can't handle this.
Yeah.
But really what she looked like someone who was trying to figure out a new bus timetable for parts of rural Ireland. She just, you know, yeah, it was like, she started going,
Jaw agape.
yeah, she started going, oh my god. But if we have a bus going to Tubber, how will it get back around to pick up people in June?
Maybe,
You know what I mean?
maybe in the back of her mind, she was just sort of thinking, right, Spanish Bureau is going to want to know the story about
Yeah.
this. How can I put it right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
She was probably
because
trying to
this
come
is
up
a
with
story that needs to be told.
Yeah, she's coming up with a line in her head.
Yeah.
She's there going, well, I say it felt like he was excavating the actual earth out of me hole. I don't know. It was weird. It was a bizarre. Like, it was really bad.
Yeah.
This was your payoff, right?
Yeah.
This is shit stink right here. All right. Like, this was for the wrestling fans listening, right?
Yeah.
This was Daniel Bryan getting eliminated in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like, this begged for a Philadelphia crowd.
This
you
was
know?
season 5 of The Wire. You know, it was
I
just.
haven't seen The Wire now.
Yeah.
But, you know, this is like, yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah.
Like, this is just it's a shit payoff. And after this, anyway, Bo gets a murder attempt put on her by the gypsy woman from earlier on.
Yeah.
And
Here's the weird thing. They're herself and her mate. They're just hanging out in the sauna in this gaff.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, this gypsy one just arrives in with a bread knife.
yeah,
And they grab her. They throw her out of the sauna.
Yeah.
And that's the last we hear of this woman. This woman who tried to murder.
she tries to murder her and then goes, "I know what didn't work out. Fair enough."
Yeah.
But
Well, you know, you fought off my murder attempt. You're clearly all right.
I've tried my hardest. But anyway, I did write down here though, and this is such a bad movie, and that
Yeah.
was a sex scene, and it had plenty of bush in it, so
Yeah.
13-year-old me would have checked out the blaze of jizz.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been like, alright, I'm not watching the rest of this movie.
Yeah.
Fucking adult me is shackled to it.
Adult me didn't want to watch the rest of this movie either.
But, like, I had to soldier on for the
Yeah,
people listening
because
to
this was like Breaking again, you know, because you know in Breaking when they won the dance competition,
The story's over.
Story's over. You don't, you know, but you have another 20-25 minutes of fucking screen time.
But the drama comes in because
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Angel goes back to bullfight,
Yeah,
and he gets gored, and he gets gored in the fucking dick.
Yeah.
And here's the dramatic part of this movie. His dick don't work no more.
yeah,
So Bo Derek's heart is broken, so he decides to buy half a Spain to make up for it.
yeah, and you know, here's the thing. In order for him to get his horn back, right? Her thought was, in order for my man to get his horn back, so he can keep lobbing it in,
Yeah.
right? Is, you know, he's a bullfighter. I'm going to become a bullfighter. That way he can see me and just think, well, now she's bullfighting for me. That gives me a horn.
Yeah.
First off, right? In that situation, if your dick don't work no more, and your woman starts taking over your job, that's one of the most emasculating things there is. And second off,
and if your job is a bullfighter, Jesus,
you know, like one of the most macho fucking professions there is. Second off, we have never been given. Well, first off, this man doesn't have a character to speak of apart from the pederasty. But
good enough for him.
Good enough.
When
for
that
him.
bull hit him, I was there going, "Good, that bull has taken away your ability to abuse children."
Fair fucking play.
You
the
know?
bull is, you know, the bull and Cotton are the only two characters in this fucking movie I like.
Yeah.
But there was, you know, and at no point, I just don't get the logic here. I mean, you know, I've worked shelf stacking jobs. Now, granted, not nearly as cool as bullfighting.
Yeah.
But if that happened to me and all of a sudden my missus came in and it's like, here, watch me stack shelves. It's like, how do you think that's going to give me a horn? Like, seriously. What
that's the problem. Bo Derek's character is dumb as fuck in this movie.
Yeah,
like
everyone's dumb as fuck in this movie.
I was thinking about her. I was like, if she was around today, alright, she would be the genesis of all those awful sentimental info pics that go around social media.
Yeah.
That's what she'd do. That'd be her job. She'd be coming up with them.
Pretty much.
Because if you ask me, it takes a dumb motherfucker to come up with those anyway. But anyway, her friend basically sexually assaults that Russian Scotsman guy afterwards. And the thing is, so she's, because her friend wants to get the D as well.
Yeah.
Right? So she's there going, come on, write me. And he's there going, nah, bro, I'm on the job. Because he turns up out of nowhere. Doesn't matter where he turns up.
He's the lawyer or something. Yeah.
He turns up. And anyway, he slots it in there.
Yeah.
Right? But afterwards then, George Kennedy gets some.
Yes, this is my highlight of the movie. This is the only bit of the movie where it's like, okay, you long-suffering bastard.
Yeah.
Fair fucking play to you. You got a bit of the housekeeper.
Yeah.
Nice one.
George Kennedy and the housekeeper in the mansion they're staying in, they get on. The two nicest characters in the movie. And they're going, this movie should just end with the two of them being happy together.
The only way this could have been made better is if the bull gets the ride directly after.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I actually looked up Beau's Spanish mate and the Russian Scottish fucking lawyer, and looked up their IMDb, did a Google search and everything. Your man's IMDb page, this is the only acting job on it.
Not surprised.
And the only other thing, there are two listings. This, and I think it was like White Hunter Black Heart, where he was part of the technical crew, and he was like a helicopter pilot or something like that. This is, so like for 10 years after this movie came out. Not a damn thing.
Yeah.
And the only way he could get his ass back on a movie set was by fucking flying people to and from a movie set.
Yeah.
You know, that's how bad this guy is. He's
atrocious.
you know,
he was there going, hey, I started a movie once. It was called Bolero.
Yeah. And Beau's mate is played by an actress named Anna Obregon. Right? And I looked her up on Google, typed in Anna Obregon, and as soon as I typed in her name, the first thing that came up was Anna Obregon, David Beckham. Yeah, okay. And I looked it up, and apparently, back when Beckham was playing his trade in Madrid, she's like a socialite type now in the Madrid world.
Yeah.
And everyone hates her. She's a bit of a clapped out whatever.
Yeah.
And she was, the whole time he was there, she was making serious moves on him, to the point where Posh Spice assaulted her once.
Oh, wow. And
she sued Posh Spice over this. And this is literally the only interesting thing I can find about this woman. But
she probably and she could have assaulted her back by making her watch fucking Bolero.
Yeah. And according to the thing I read, David Beckham had never been in the same room at the same time as this woman.
Yeah.
But he found the whole thing absolutely fucking hilarious. And I suppose I would as well.
Yeah, why not?
Because why not?
Look, this is apropos of nothing, but it's apropos of nothing in the movie. The Sheik from earlier on, his boys kidnapped Bo
this is
for reasons.
Yeah, this is the most what the fuck moment of the entire film. And this is a movie full of what the fuck moments.
And I got two moments here.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. She gets Cotton to come and chase after her, right? And the Sheik is kidnapping her. He puts her in the biplane and they're flying away. He's flying the plane, the Sheik is. And she's there going, Cotton, come here, stop this. She's so dumb she thinks Cotton can pull a plane out of the sky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway,
Which he proceeds to do.
Yeah. No, the plane goes up.
Yeah.
And she's up there, and Sheiky Baby's there going, Ara Baba, I need to have you, you know? And he doesn't talk like that at all. But
once again, be so much better if he did.
But there's a moment where she has a parachute on. And essentially what she says is, he's there going, I need you. And she goes, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't let you kidnap and rape me, bro. I'm out.
Yeah.
And she jumps out of the plane. She doesn't say that.
Yeah.
But it's essentially what she means.
Yeah, which is the first smart thing she's done in the entire fucking movie.
It's she parachutes out. I wrote next year, I can't wait for this film to be over.
Yeah, and this was only done to pad the movie out, because once again, you try to figure out the character's motivations here, right?
Yeah.
You know, okay, real talk here. Every man alive, whether they want to admit it or not, has gotten whiskey dick at some point in their life, right? You react to it by just going, okay, that was a once-off, and you fucking go, you know, you chalk it up to experience, you don't drink as much the next time, and you go about the rest of your life.
Maybe don't listen to Pantera before you go.
Yeah, what you don't fucking do is you don't travel to Spain to abduct a bitch.
Yeah.
That's not what you do. You know, because once again, this is the second time where it nearly turns into Taken.
Yeah.
It would have been tremendous if fucking Cotton just called up your man. It's like, you know, I don't know you. I don't know where you are. But I have a certain...
No, he's there going, I do know you. Yeah. I've been to your house.
Yeah. And I have a certain set of skills that I acquired beating the shit out of Paul Newman on the set of Cool Hand Luke.
The thing is, though, at this point I was done. I actually checked out.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened after this, but I think they went to the bull riding scene with Bo.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, I was so bored, okay? I watched a video of two pregnant women fighting on Facebook. Yeah. Alright? Yeah. I should never want to watch that.
No, you never should. No, see, what happens in this part of the movie here, right? But, like, just before and after the abduction or the attempted abduction, it's basically a bunch of characters sitting around waiting for Angel's dick to work again, right?
Yeah.
And you can literally see it on George Kennedy's face. This is the reason why I love him so much, because he's mirroring my attitude to this film as it goes on, because you know, he's just sitting around with his housekeeper mate, you know, and looking at these people like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm bored as hell. I don't want to be here.
I hope he got paid well.
I really hope he did. And you know, and here's the thing. In order for Angel to get his horn back, Bo throws one last fucking Hail Mary, right? What she does, she decides that she's going to ride around the bull ring on a horse in the nip.
Yeah.
Right? And this is supposed to be like the big fucking crescendo of the movie. This is like the iconic scene of the film and everything. And at this point, I'm just thinking, I'm like Patrick Stewart in Extras. I've already seen everything. Yeah. It's like, plus, I don't care.
Yeah. I
don't care if this pederast dick works again. In fact, I hope it doesn't. I hope it fucking rots off him.
Well, the thing is, she does the bull riding thing. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially like a precursor to homeopathy right there.
Yeah.
You know, but
I'll ride a horse. That'll sort you.
Yeah, it's like some kind of weird horse-based Reiki treatment. But
I'd love to see horse-based Reiki.
But anyway, like,
walking me back there, Shergar.
Oh no! Lift your paw near my back.
Yeah.
Paw, huff. I don't know. Anyway, we get to the point where she does cosplay as him from earlier in the movie when he came to her to fuck her.
Yeah.
and she turns up. She's like, "Oh, fuck you, motherfucker!"
Yeah.
Basically, but the thing is, she's trying to get it going, and he bites her.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Do you want to taste my blood?" And he bites her again. And I went, "I fucking knew he was a reverse vampire." I was right.
See what?
It was me, Austin.
It was me all along. No, my thoughts on this were kind of different, right? Like, I picked up on the symbolism of it and everything, you know, she's going to fucking take him back and all that sort of thing. But at the same time, I was putting myself in this situation. If a Björ I was getting it on with arrived at my house dressed as me, I'd throw her the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I might call the guards.
If a girl turned up here in, like, my shitty jeans and a Bullet Club t-shirt, I'd get worried. I'd be like, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
We're entering single white female territory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is getting fucking weird here.
You know, fucking... And I'm like, is that my Bullet Club t-shirt? Because I'm going to need that back.
Yeah.
You know, but,
if you bought one, fair play to you. You've got taste.
But anyway, she coaxes a horn out of him.
Yeah.
And they fuck.
Yeah. This scene to me was absolutely hilarious.
But they fuck in the clouds.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like Brazil. Like, you remember?
Yes.
You remember the fantasy scenes in Brazil?
Yes.
Where, that's what this was like.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. Like, I know this might sound nuts. We've been discussing the story that's been going on in the real world, but literally, he gets hard.
Yeah.
And he puts it in.
Yeah.
And they're in the cloud scene from Brazil.
Yeah. Smoke machines just fucking start pumping out.
Yeah.
And the bit that absolutely broke me was a pink neon sign in the background with the misspelling of ecstasy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I nearly died laughing.
But she goes, "Oh, look, it's ecstasy."
Yeah, because
you're like, wait a minute, you can see it?
Yeah.
Like,
that's your visual representation of ecstasy. I can kind of see why this genre died out now. Hardcore pornography does it slightly better.
And it gets it in and out in 15 minutes as well.
Yeah. And
like, you know, when you click on one of those videos that's 75 minutes on a porn site that it's multiple scenes.
Yeah.
You're only going to get through one of them.
Absolutely.
But
might be a bit of fast forwarding as well through half of it.
Oh yeah. But
there was, and I was thinking, you made an erotic film, and that's the best you can do to fucking to show that she's had that she's in and having sexual ecstasy. It was like, what? No.
Neon ecstasy sign
Yeah.
in the cloud scene from Brazil. I'm just going to read out what I wrote.
Okay, please.
What? Childish, piss poor, awful.
Yeah.
Just
when I say
oh no, and then I wrote the words, just fucking come so I can go to bed. Because I was watching this late at night and I was just wanting to go to sleep.
When I say I was laughing so hard, this was the sort of laugh, you know, when you've been having a really shit day, and all you can do is laugh, or you will punch someone. Yeah, because it was like, I've sat through about an hour and 40 minutes of one of the worst fucking movies.
I'm pretty sure Heath Ledger watched this movie to get ready for when he was the Joker.
I'm pretty sure he did.
It was that kind of laughter, like madness. You know, it's like Netflix. I gave it 1 star.
Yeah.
I wish I could have given it fucking negative a million.
Yeah, that was generous.
And I don't mean to come across as one of these people who like acts like it was the worst day of their fucking lives that to watch a bad movie. Look, I was in my house. It was warm. I had food in my stomach.
Yeah.
It wasn't the worst day of my life.
Yeah.
Okay. However, this movie fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And it's reprehensible. And I'm glad that. How do I put this? I'm glad that I can discuss this movie with you, and we can put this piece of audio out in the world, so we can somehow maybe prevent other people from falling down this trap.
If you want to watch erotic movies, there are lots to choose from. I mean,
I'd even recommend just watching Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, you get the same buzz, and there's zombies.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Yeah,
but no,
they're like really fucking good movies. Like France back in the day put out loads of them. Italy back in the day put out loads of them. that have like good stories with really good actors in them, and you get the same level of boobage.
Yeah.
You get the same level of like erotica or
The
whatever.
Hunger.
Yeah, The Hunger.
The Hunger is a crazy movie.
Exactly.
Tony Scott directed it.
And it's a fucking tremendous film.
Yeah. Oh, is it tremendous?
Yeah.
But
Oh, hell's yes. But
it was a happening.
there is absolutely, positively no reason why you would ever want to watch this film unless you're a Bo Derek fanboy.
Unless you're fucking marks like us.
Yeah, and
anyway, look, can we put this one to bed?
I think we can.
Okay, don't.
Right. Well, what's up next for us on Canon?
Well, we hope to record this one soon because we're still in limbo, even though we got this mic. Limbo. Sorry, that was thematic. But anyway, we the next movie we'll be discussing is a doozy. I've watched it. You haven't.
I haven't seen it yet.
But I'll say it's definitely one. I think this one was a bit of a hit for Canon.
Yeah, I've heard very mixed reports about this one.
And I think it's probably something that people from the time would have a lot of love for. But I think we're probably going to have a different take on it. I don't know. Maybe you'll have a different take than I would. But yeah, we're going to discuss the '80s teen sex comedy tragedy, The Last American Virgin.
Cool.
And basically, yeah, here's the trailer.
And now let's all get serious. Hey, you pervert! Get out of my... Come on, move! One, two, three! Hi. 96, 97, 98, 99.
Now you two have fun.
It's a lie!
The Last American Virgin, featuring songs by Blondie, The Cars, Devo, Journey, The Police, REO Speedwagon, Tommy Tutone, and more. The Last American Virgin. See it or be it.
Yeah! Shake it up.
Okay, in closing, I guess we should probably thank Senan for giving us the microphone.
Yeah,
and,
sound on you, man.
Obviously, if you're listening to this, you're probably listening to it on Giant Media Ball or you're listening to it on SoundCloud. So please subscribe to either of those feeds and, give us some compliments and likes and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, we're a bunch of fucking marks who want to be told that we're cool.
Yeah.
And
we're uber nerds who
yeah.
like this sort of shit.
And
if you've got any criticism, any fucking praise, any questions, let us know.
Yeah, we will probably have a Facebook page up by the time we put this one out because I realized we probably should have one. I didn't want to make one when we were doing the first two episodes because I was working as a social media fucking manager at the time. I was like, I'm not bringing my work home. But so yeah, we're gonna have a social media page up, and you can like that if you like. We might get a Twitter going. It's but yeah, basically stay tuned, and we'll have another show for you in 2 weeks' time, hopefully. And hopefully once we've got American Virgin out, we'll have our microphone situation sorted for good, and we'll be back and better than ever. Sorry, but
had to be done.
Had to be done. You've done it now.
You're
gonna make a big mistake. Anyway,
we are the coolest people alive.
Oh, we are so cool. Anyway, I'm Johnny Capcom.
I'm Sean Sheridan.
And thanks for joining us for the Canon, and I hope to see you again. All right, bye-bye.
bed.